morning, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing an exterior tour of the dollhouse and a makeover of the exterior. I thought that I had this exterior makeover figured out, and then in this past week I decided we're just going to redo the whole thing. So you'll have a sneak peek behind me. I'm currently in the middle of the makeover, but I took a lot of pictures and videos of the before. So this is a sneak peek behind me of the direction we're heading in, but we still have a lot to do. So I will show you where we started and some of my inspiration and our plans moving forward. So just keep watching and we'll see this dollhouse get a whole new look. Alright, so here we are looking at the exterior of the dollhouse. Now, the dollhouse originally did not have these doors on the front, but we cut them out and added them just with those white hinges here, and it just had cutout openings for windows. There wasn't any trim or window panes or anything like that, so I have added all that as I've gone along. However, I'm just not really liking it as much as I thought that I would. I added this wood up top here also, which has some of it's fallen off in the move, and the stain job you can see is kind of splotchy on those pieces, so I'd want to redo that. That shutter is clearly not on right. Another thing is this porch. Now you can see there's only half a porch on here, and the other half fell off during the move, but I've seriously been reconsidering whether we attach the full porch back on, take the porch completely off, or do something entirely different. And then we also have this gapping here with the doors that don't close right, so that'll have to be addressed. I was zooming in on the window boxes there because I don't like the flowers. They don't seem very natural looking to me, so we're just going to take those right off. So here is the video of me just starting to take it all apart, and I really wanted to start fresh. And the other thing, if you look in the front there, we don't have a front door. So we only have windows, and I was thinking, is there some way for me to make a front door like in the middle and kind of disguise the gap where the front swings open? But I just don't know. I don't think that would work. I don't even think that there's enough room there for a door. So my vision is that I came up with while I was taking this all off is the window I'm working on right now. What if we cut a bigger hole in that spot and make that our front door? Just a little off center of the house. And I think that that would actually work. And I never thought of that before while I was, putting this all together. So that just goes to show you that sometimes you need to do things multiple times before you figure out really what actually makes sense. And once I thought of that idea, I'm like, I think that this just makes sense, and I think that it's gonna work. So I'm just going to continue to remove all of the trim and shutters, and I think I'll leave the window panes in. Those are just pieces of kind of like clear plastic that I put washi tape over to make them look like window panes. I picked up, here I'm looking at some different florals I picked up. I want to go for a more natural look. Those colorful ones were not really it at all, so I picked up some different ones. I'm hoping these will look much better and maybe vine down the side out of the boxes. And then I've also bought that ivy to put on the side of the house in some type of trellis, and I'm looking forward to trying those out and see if they look a little more natural and a little more cottagey. This right here is the color I'm thinking of changing the shutters to. I don't really hate the current shutter look, but I think with more greenery it's going to be a lot of green on this house, so that's why I'm leaning more towards the blue shutters. So again, there's a shutter. I just made those out of 3 popsicle sticks together and then 2 across. I found it on Pinterest. They were super easy to make. And just gonna keep taking apart my house. I was so proud when I first put this together, and then the more I looked at it, I
I'm just gonna
realized that I really didn't like
some
it.
more of this as
Very
I take
much.
off all the rest of the shutters and the window trim.
Another thing I didn't really like about the window trim was that I left some of the pieces, if you remember, rounded like a normal popsicle stick, and I don't know if I was just being lazy, but I just should never have done that. I should have cut them all square, and I think it would look so much better. So now as we continue to take apart this house, let's look at the porch problem that I've been struggling with. So this is the whole porch that fell off the other side of the house, and I just don't think that I want to reattach that. I think that it's going to fall off again, and it adds a lot of weight to the house also. At first, I was really excited about decorating it and putting things onto it, but as I look at it more and more, I just don't think that that's something I want to go forward with, even though I put a lot of time into it, and maybe something smaller would be better, or maybe nothing at all would be better, but that's something we're going to figure out in this video. And all I'm doing now is trying to get the doors to line up right, so that's another problem I mentioned before, but have not figured out how to address yet. I won't make you guys watch as I take all those flowers out of the window baskets, but instead I'm just gonna hop on to Pinterest here, and I always go to Pinterest when I'm stuck or I'm looking for inspiration. I don't know what to do, and I just look for ideas, and sometimes I find things that I would have never thought of doing but would look amazing. So I'm just doing some scrolling here, see if there's anything that catches my eye. Sometimes I search for specific stuff, like I might search for dollhouse porch. Other times I'll just search for dollhouse or miniatures and just see what comes up. So let's see. Just looking for anything that catches my eye. I really like the kind of cottage. I like those, like how the shutters and the door is like the natural wood tone. I think that's really pretty. That kind of warms up the house. This house is really cute. I really like this one. I just like the colors, the scalloped trim above the porch. That's really pretty. Maybe that's something I'll have to see if I can incorporate into mine. I don't know if that's as cottagey though. So now I'm just looking up, what even is like cottage. What does that even look like? And sometimes I don't know if I'm even going for the style that I think I am. So I'll also look that up just to see if I'm on the right track or what I'm even trying to aim towards, if that makes sense. So let's see, let's look at some porch ideas. This isn't really what I was trying to find, but maybe there will be something in here that catches my eye. Just trying to figure out what the heck to do with that porch. I mean, do we just do nothing there? Do we do like a smaller porch? Do we just do steps? I don't really want to do like a balcony like that. I don't want the front of the house to look kind of like, like naked, like there's nothing on it, because it is such a large house. See that white one on the left? I think looks kind of, this one right here looks kind of boring to me. No offense to whoever's dollhouse it is, but I just feel like it needs a little something more on the front. Oh, I clicked on this because I got that kit once and I never finished it, but a lot of the parts and pieces that I'm using and have saved from my dollhouse, I still have from that kit, and I've made them into different things, and I actually still have a lot of pieces to try and use. I don't like to throw things like that away. I don't remember why I clicked on that one. I guess if that kind of porch is your style, maybe that's inspiration for you. That's not really what I'm going for on my house anyway. Let's see. Oh, I had this idea. I really wanted to do like a greenhouse off the side, but then I was like, oh, I'll be adding on more to the dollhouse, making it bigger, and I really don't want to do that. So I have an idea actually of how I can incorporate it. It popped into my head like a week ago, and I haven't stopped thinking of it ever since. So there will be some type of like greenhousey like plant element to this house. I cannot have a house without plants. I just love house plants. And then I was looking at stone, because I'm thinking I had stone on the porch before, and I want to make sure that there's still stone on the house even if we don't have a porch. I think it'll just make it more realistic and more rustic. So I'm definitely still going to incorporate stone. And then I was just looking at shutters again, looking at blue shutters to see if that's kind of the color I really want to go with or not. And I also tend to just jump around a lot on Pinterest, which may be annoying for some people, but I did find this house, which I thought was really cute, even though it's really simple. I love this one. I just love the fall colors and the wreaths on the door, and how I wanted a porch for that reason, to decorate it like that. So I'm kind of sad that if I don't have a porch, I won't be able to do that. But I will also be able to spend more time on like the interior. I think I'm narrowing down more the kind of style I like and want to go for. Oh, I love this one. That's so cute. I just love the black and white with the wood and that little, like, what do you call it, like a pergola over the patio. That's really cute. Mine won't be like that. We have a lot different of a structure we're working with, but I really like the style of that for sure. Look at the inside of this one. Just the simple black and white and the wood. I want to make a dollhouse like this, but I, for some reason, can't convince myself to not use like colorful patterns and textures and just stick to black and white, even though a lot of my inspiration, like this other one here again, is mostly in black and white. I went back to that one again. I just think that one's so cute. It just looks so cozy. Like, it looks like a place I would want to go hang out in the summer. Now let's just see if there's anything else that I found while I'm looking on Pinterest here before we get back to the makeover. If there's anything that even you guys are inspired by, might not be something, again, that I've clicked on, but maybe it's something that you like. This one's really cute too. I don't know how someone explained to me how you open these, those types of dollhouses, because I really don't know how you get inside. Does the roof come off? I never really had one like that anyway that I can remember. But yeah, I just You know, I like looking for different ideas and inspiration, and maybe you guys do too, or maybe you scroll right past this portion of the video, but I think it's always good to see what other people have done and not necessarily copy it, but just get, like I said, that inspiration from them. And you might see something that you would have never thought of doing that you could put your own spin on it for your own house. Alright, so let's get right back into the makeover, get off of Pinterest, and actually start working on this house. So one of the things that I mentioned was that I wanted to cut a door where one of the front windows is. And I did end up doing that, and I'm going to save that as a surprise for you guys so you can see what it looks like when it's actually a little bit more put together. Right now it's just a big hole, but I didn't film myself cutting it out because I just wanted to experiment and see how it would work. But anyway, I found these pieces of plexiglass. They were off of a model that my mom had. It was actually a greenhouse model, and I took the greenhouse apart, and the two sides of it ended up being the perfect shape to make doors out of. And that's what the stencil I used to cut my hole when I was cutting for the door. So here what I'm doing is I'm just adding the same washi tape that I used on the windows. And there was already some tape on these, but I tried to take most of it off. I didn't get all of it off, but it'll be covered by the washi tape anyway. And actually later in this video, you'll find out that me putting this washi tape on was completely unnecessary because I ended up covering it up anyway. But stay tuned to see how I did that. And let me show you what it looks like with these doors in the house. So here we are. I have taken quite a few steps since you last seen the house. I painted the shutters blue, and I think I really like them. I also put in new greenery in the window boxes, and I think that also looks better. And I fixed the trim, cutting off those rounded corners, repainting it all black, and putting it back on. And then I have the door, obviously. So I cut a big hole for the door using those pieces of the greenhouse as stencils. And then I just used big popsicle sticks to trim around it so it looks more, like it's always been there and more professional. And I popped those pieces in that I did with the tape. And now I'm just wood filling around the trim to fill in the gaps between the popsicle sticks and sanding that smooth so that we will be able to repaint the trim and it'll all be smooth and look like one big piece. And I have two of these. The other one's in a box somewhere. But I got these little wreaths, and we're gonna make some wreaths. See that? Make some wreaths together. And I think that'll add a lot more character to the house as well. I see myself putting a little step here, and maybe we can make the step a little wider, and then that's what we put maybe like a flower pot on. Maybe we put a house number sign or a little mailbox. That would be really cute there. What else? I also got these easels at Michael's, and my initial idea was kind of like a trellis situation. I have some vines and some moss. I'm not sure exactly where I want to put them. Originally I was thinking of putting them on the edge of the porch, but I think we can make it work somewhere on the house as it is. So my vision for this porch, you can see I started putting some stone on it, was to have these stone columns here and stone all along the bottom, and put some chairs out here, some gardening stuff, some plants. I thought it would be really pretty. And let me show you, I actually have the other part of the porch here. This part is a little further along than the other part. So this is the other half of the porch that fell off, and I think one of the main reasons it fell off was because it was so big. And you can see I started to do a lot of stone on it, and I built this all myself just out of, you know, wood dowels, and found all this stuff at Lowe's. Now, like I said, we're not going to be doing the porch anymore, and for many reasons. As much as I love the idea of a porch, I just don't think that it's practical for this dollhouse. And this dollhouse is already huge. It's like, oh, I don't know, at least 4 foot tall. And the porch is just gonna add so much extra weight and gonna make it even harder to move than it already is. And you know, things are gonna fall off of it. I could hot glue it down, but I see myself spending a lot of time on this porch and then it falling apart again. And there's probably people out there that could build it better than me and who would think that you just couldn't live without a porch. So I don't know, maybe in the future we could add one, but I just don't think it's gonna work for this dollhouse. And I think that I could spend a lot more time on the main face of the house and stuff like that and make that look really good. And honestly, the main reason I wanted the porch was just to add some more character to the house, add some more details, but I think we can do that without a porch, and it'll give us more time to play with the inside as well. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna take this off. Now, I don't know, this one stayed on in the move, so I'm not sure how well it'll come off. I mean, it's just hot glued on. I was so proud of myself for building this, but there goes the roof. It's gonna save me a lot of work too. I mean, this roof is only half done. But it's very hard to see, but this whole railing is crooked. It's not even. It's not level. I'll show you once I get off here. It's coming. I had to put a wheel on the bottom, which the wheels kept falling off. This one's on here pretty good now, but that way when you open the doors of the house, the porch would swing with it. Now, the other thing is, it was very hard to make the two porches line up together because this house is split in the middle here. So that was another difficulty that I was having. And I think what I want to do is carry the stone on the front half of the house, and I'm going to find some inspiration pictures to show you, or not the half of the house, you know, like halfway up the door or right under the window maybe. I'll find some pictures to show you, but I think that will incorporate some more character and help this house just look more put together and not so boring. So we'll definitely reuse the pieces of this porch though for something else, guaranteed. So there's that. Now at this point I'm still not really sure what I'm doing, but I took the old porch that was on the right side of the house as you're looking at it, and I'm thinking, what if I just do like a little porch as you walk in the door, just something to kind of frame the door out. And so I didn't end up filming the whole process of me building this little porch here, but I think it turned out really good, and it took a lot of playing around with and figuring out to figure out what I actually really wanted. But this porch is half the depth of the old porch, so it's not going to hang off the house as much. And if you remember, the old porch had to have wheels under it so that it could swing out and still be supported, and I don't think this one will need anything under it. I might do some braces that just kind of float just to be safe, but I think we're going to be in much better shape with the smaller porch here. And I really like how it frames the door out. It's not a lot to put things on, but we could still decorate it enough and to you know, give it a little more character and flair. And I'm just super excited about it. The other nice thing is that we don't have to worry about matching up two halves of a porch when you open and close the doors. So all in all, I think that this version of the porch solves a lot of the problems that I was struggling with initially, and I'm really excited to finish it out and make it look really nice. Now what you're seeing here is me working on the doors again. So I knew all along that I didn't want full glass doors, because full glass front doors, I think it's kind of weird. People can just look into your house theoretically, not that this is a real house. But I wanted to add some more kind of privacy, and I was gonna use foam board, like foam core, and make doors out of that, but I just didn't think it would look as nice as I wanted it to. I had a bunch of these popsicle sticks laying around, and you'll see the reason why I said that me taping off the panes in the door ended up being a waste of time, because I think I'm going to end up covering them all up with these popsicle sticks, but they did provide a good template for me to follow as I did this. So anyway, starting by trimming out the top, middle, and bottom of the door with the popsicle sticks. So in the middle there is where the door will be, so it'll be more like solid wood on the bottom half of the door, and then I still want the glass look on the top half of the door. So that's where it's going to divide into that. And I'm just cutting these popsicle sticks with scissors. I'm not measuring, I'm just holding it up to my door and making a mark with my pen, and then using some hot glue to stick them on there. And they shouldn't have any problem staying on with the hot glue. And now we're just moving on to the sides, so I'm going to trim out the edges. And I haven't decided quite which color I want to paint the door yet, so maybe you guys can give me some ideas in the comments below. I don't think we'll end up finishing the door in this video. It's already getting pretty lengthy, so I think one of our future videos will be probably dedicated to finishing this door up and the porch up and making it look really nice, because you have to have faith in the process. The whole time that I'm doing something like this, it looks kind of weird. You know, you have a lot of gaps and you don't really know what direction you're heading in all the time, and you kind of make it up as you go. Like this door, I've been making it up as I go. I didn't know exactly what kind of design I was going for with these popsicle sticks, but I figured let's just start by trimming out the door, because we need the door to look solid on the edges and kind of have a strong frame. So that's what I started with. I just started with making myself kind of like a template, a frame, and from there it's kind of going to be like a coloring book and filling in inside the lines and figuring out what kind of character we want to go with. You know, is there some type of design we're going for? I don't really know. Like I said, I'm just figuring it out as I go, but I thought that the wood on the door would look much stronger, especially with having this porch. I really like the way this porch turned out, and I want the door to match it. I don't want the door to look kind of wimpy compared to the porch. So that's kind of the basis behind why I decided to keep building onto it, even though we had a pretty good door to begin with. but it can always get better. And I just love trying to figure out how I can make something just a little bit better, even though I'm not like the most awesome craftsman here with my popsicle sticks. But I always kind of like enjoy the puzzle and the journey of figuring out how things are all going to come into play. So I'm almost done framing out the door, and then it'll be just time to decide what we are doing with the rest of it. So here I'm just looking at how wide my popsicle sticks are. I have some smaller ones, but I don't think I have enough to fill in the middle with these smaller ones. That one's broken. I'm just kind of holding them up. You're seeing some of my process now. And then I found these ones, and these were floorboards off of the old porch that I took off. So we're reusing things. I love to reuse things, see how they could be used in a different way. And I'm just thinking that this wood might add some more character to the panels of these doors. And we can't quite fit 3, but I think if I fit 2 in the middle, and then maybe I find a way to trim out the edges with my little popsicle sticks, there they are, then that could work. And even if I don't like the way that the wood looks, I can always very easily just paint over the top of it to make it match the rest of the door. So with that, I'm deciding to go for it. I'm cutting them to size and seeing if that will fit in there. And also, I thought that after I recorded this video that I had lost the entire thing. I record on my phone for right now until I justify a reason to buy a better camera, but my phone told me that it had run out of storage and it just stopped the recording. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I looked and I'm like, well, if it stopped it maybe at least saved it. And I went into my phone and I could not find it anywhere. So I'm like, this whole recording is gone. So I'm just gonna have to show them like what it looked like before and what it looked like after, but it's gonna be really hard to explain. And then when I was putting this video together to edit it, I don't know how, but somehow I found the recording and now we have it. So I mean, maybe you're not interested in watching me put the whole door together, but it was a big, like, gap in the whole storyline of this exterior makeover, and I was really disappointed that I wasn't going to be able to have it to show to you guys, but now we do. So that's super exciting that you guys can actually see how I came up with this door design, because from the beginning to the end, it's gonna look so much different than, you know, what we started with and even what I initially pictured that I would end up doing. So I'm just gonna keep going along and putting that in there. This actually didn't take very long. Once I kind of got a vision, it started to come together, and once I knew what pieces I wanted to put where, it wasn't really all that hard. And eventually you get to a point where these types of things just kind of build themselves, and it's not even like your design anymore. It's like, well, this is what the door asked for. And then I realized here, I'm like, why do I have such a big gap compared to the other side? Well, duh, my door needs framing on both sides. Maybe you guys noticed that, but down the middle it's just one popsicle stick, where if it's 2 doors it needs to divide in the middle, obviously. So that's why there's such much bigger gap on the left side than the right. So there you go, that looks a lot more realistic of a door. And when I go to wood fill this, I won't wood fill in the middle, so it still looks like there's a gap. I will just try my best to only wood fill around the edges on the outside. And where there's gaps that wouldn't normally be there. So there we go, we've got the wood panels in, and now I'm just gonna frame it out with the smaller pieces. And here it is with those smaller pieces framed in. I'm sorry this video is a little shaky, I'm not sure what I was doing. But so the smaller pieces are there, and you can see the wood is just framed by them nicely. There's obviously a lot of gaps, that looks a little rough, but we'll get there. And then I found these other small pieces from another project that I had, and I'm just going to use them to frame out the top here so that, you know, the bottom of the door isn't all bumped out and then the top is just flat like it was. I think that would look kind of weird. So I'm just going to go ahead and frame the top out with those, and I will show you what it looks like when I get that done. So here it is with the top finished as well. I mean, not completely finished, we have a long way to go, but I was thinking about adding some to the bottom, but I just didn't have enough to do that. So I've got that all framed out. I think that this is the build. I think that it's done. So like I said before, I'm just gonna wood fill around the edges, make it all look somewhat put together and, you know, like it was all one piece originally. If you hear some noise in the background, that's my new puppy chewing on her stick that she found. But yeah, so I think we've made a lot of progress in this video. You'll also see that I started doing some of the stone on the bottom of the house. I wanted to see how that would look. That's going to take me quite a while. I should have probably used bigger stone, but I'm using what I had. So I'm going to use that anyway. And you kind of have to do one layer at a time and let it dry. Otherwise, all the layers under it just slip right off and you lose all your progress. So that'll come in a later video. I did not intend for this video to be so long, but maybe you guys will enjoy the longer format. I like to put these kinds of videos on while I'm cleaning or doing my own craft projects, or, you know, something like that. So I hope that you guys got some kind of inspiration or entertainment out of this video, and I will keep plugging along. I'll keep you guys updated as I make more progress. I might do some other types of videos in between, just in case you're not interested in the exterior as much. I'll try to mix it up a little for you guys. But always never hesitate to let me know what you want to see, even if you have an idea that I might not have even mentioned or thought of myself yet. I'm open to anything that you guys with your creative minds can think of. So with that, I just want to thank you guys all for watching. I didn't film a formal sit-down outro for this video. It was already getting to be so long, but I wanted to show you guys the process and not just skip over things. I did skip over the building of a porch a little bit, but I think that it's pretty simple to see what I did, I hope. But I can always go more in depth on that if that's something you're interested in. But I like to focus on the pretty stuff also. So here's the house as it sits now. Sorry the video's a little shaky, I must be getting too excited, but I can't wait to see where it goes next. Bye!